Well, we are here at the original Shanghai Pine Garden with my dad, Mr. Lee, and I'm Wing Lam. I'm the co-founder of Wahoo's Fish Taco. Well, let's talk about like the history, how the Pine Garden came to be, right? In the early 60s, we're all still in Brazil. My dad happened to open one of the first Chinese restaurants in Sao Paulo, Brazil after World War II. But somewhere in the early 60s, mid 60s, my dad got the itch that the land of opportunity, he heard all these great things about America, specifically California. So he decided to venture up north, and he actually worked at a couple of different restaurants up in LA and Anaheim. And one of the trips that my brother, who was also up here at the time going to school, decided to drop one of his coworkers off around this area. And being on Balboa Island for the first time, he realized that there was a Mexican restaurant of all places for sale right on this corner. So they called us back in Brazil, started talking about, well, how do we finance then a $100,000 purchase? Well, 1970, it's a big number, but compared to today, it's nothing, right? So we went back and forth. We had a great business in Brazil already. So we sent a few dollars up here to help them out, and they opened this great little restaurant in Newport Beach. Because the whole deal is, and the thing that you learn in business is, why open a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown where there's another 100 Chinese restaurants? So open somewhere where there's no competition, which is kind of what we did in Brazil, right? We were literally the only Chinese family in the town we grew up in. Well, so I often tell people, how do my parents end up in Brazil? There's two versions. The funny version is they get on the wrong boat. SS America, which is South America, not United States of America, which is one version, right? And the other version I like to tell people is the reality was because of what happened in Pearl Harbor, everybody that quote unquote looked Asian was basically, you all look alike, right? So the whole idea wasn't very friendly after World War II, especially what happened in Hawaii. So a lot of Japanese, Chinese, everybody ended up in South America. You've heard of great sushi restaurants coming out of Peru. So all the great restaurateurs and farmers all went south. So that's the real reality. So my dad ended up in Brazil, which has the second largest population of Japanese outside of Japan. So all the farming in Brazil, basically in South America, is done by the Japanese. They're phenomenal farmers, right? So my dad had opened a few restaurants in Japan, and through his connections there, that's how he ended up in Brazil. So they were looking for this new wave of, cuisine, and Chinese was becoming really popular, and that's how we did. So he ended up down there. My mom followed about 10 years later, which is really interesting. So you're talking early 50s, then late 50s, and they reconnected. That's how there's a gap between my oldest brother and the rest of us, about a 10-year gap. And then all of us were basically born and raised in Brazil. And then, we ran a very successful, operation down there. It's still in existence after all these years. My uncle and aunts run it. And, my dad decided, because, hey, there's the real America, right? The United States of America. And said, hey, here's a great opportunity for us to maybe reinvent ourselves. After World War II, immediately, you were not getting out. So basically, we talk about the Hispanic border here. So the closest free port to China was Hong Kong. So everybody, by hook or crook, found a way to get out. And if you didn't get out, you were there for the next 50 years, right? So my mom basically 10 years later figured it out that none of the husbands that left were ever going to come back because they all got out illegally, right? So my mom basically followed my dad's footstep. She's the only wife out of all of my dad's friends that actually got out. Most of my dad's friends remarried around the world because their first wives were never able to come back. They always supported their families back at home, but they were never able to go visit until the 80s, until China reopened to the outside world. So my mom was lucky enough to basically, put some dollars together, get her way to Hong Kong, and literally without speaking a lick of English or Portuguese or anything else, get to Brazil. And I mean, imagine reconnecting with my father halfway around the world. There were letters, there were friends, there were things that say, hey, here's the clues where I am. But imagine you coming today to California without a GPS or anything goes, and not able to speak the language and find your way around. So you have a cousin in California, right? He lives somewhere. I mean, it's very difficult because the state is not necessarily like next to each other, right? So if you landed in LA and your cousin happened to be in San Jose, how would you even find him? How do you get from LA to San Jose? So these are all, right? So these are the things that, back in the 50s, how did they reconnect? I have no idea.